Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a movie that you wouldn't quite expect in one of these 13 days of Halloween videos of mine, which is Lights Out. And this movie came out fairly recently, came out in 2016, and the reason why I say that it's not really expected is because I'm not sure if many people think of this when it comes to Halloween movies, but when it comes to horror movies, I have a soft spot for this movie mainly because of the director David F. Sandberg, which is a huge inspiration to me. If you guys do not know of David F. Sandberg's story, basically he made a 2-minute short film on YouTube called Lights Out, and he was given the keys by a studio to make this thing into a full feature film, but then he was given the follow-up to one of the biggest movies in the Conjuring franchise, which was Annabelle Creation, which is extremely good. Most people, didn't watch it because the first Annabelle was so bad, but this is a fairly great. This is probably the best Conjuring movie that's not one of the first two Conjuring movies. It's such a great movie, and that's because of David F. Sandberg. And then they even got with Warner Brothers and was able to make Shazam. That's right, this guy directed Shazam after making a 2-minute short film and blew up ever since 2016 from there. This guy is a huge inspiration, but not only that, the reason why this guy is such a huge inspiration to me is because he still makes YouTube videos on his channel, Pony Smasher, which is kind of crazy. He still has short films that he's released during the quarantine, he has some pretty good ones that he actually released, and he did an entire behind the scenes series for Annabelle Creation on his YouTube channel, which is awesome. He has a bunch of filmmaking tips, and this guy just seems like the best, most genuinely just excited about filmmaking dude, and he's a huge inspiration to me. But not only that, but this movie kicks ass. Lights Out is a great film that, it's such a simple premise, such a simple idea where you see this ghost creature thing whenever you turn off the lights, and when you turn them on, they disappear, and if you turn them off again, maybe they moved a little bit. It's such a simple idea, and that's why the short film works so well. I do think the short film is scarier than the feature film, but I was able to actually watch this movie in a theater since I work at one, and we were able to watch it, and man, this movie works so much better on the big screen. The scares actually was getting to me a little bit. It made me jump a couple times. This is a jump scary type of horror movie. This is a PG-13 horror movie, but don't make that scare you away, because this is so well directed, and the tension and the suspense that he builds throughout this entire film is there. And I think that's the most important thing about horror movies. You can have your jump scares as long as they build to something. If they're not just a cat jumping out of a window or a cupboard or something like that, that never really happens in this movie. I don't think there's a single false jump scare. I believe there isn't any. And there's some brutal scenes in this movie. The opening scene with the dad character, the way he's mangled and torn up by this creature by the end of that opening scene is pretty gruesome for a PG-13 movie. And the actual creature design, although I do think is scarier in the short film, I think it is really creepy, and it has that sound design that you hear a lot from horror movies these days, which, it's a recent horror movie thing that, creatures make like weird neck twitchy things and have those weird cracking bone sounds that come out of them, which is a little bit cliched, but it's still very well done. Like I said, the tension that's built with this character is really well done. But what I love most about this movie is the character development, which I do think if they added 20 more minutes, you could really flesh it out and have a lot more character development in this movie. But for what it is, for being based on a short film, for only being an hour and I believe 21 minutes, it's a very short movie. For being that short, they get a lot done with these characters. Teresa Palmer is the star of this movie, and she is excellent in this film. I do think this is one of her best roles, just because, you really do buy her fear. Every time she's scared, every time she's terrified of something, and her relationship with her little brother is so well done. She's a great actress, and the boyfriend character is not irritating in this movie, which I know, shocker. They actually have a really good back and forth banter between each other of how, he wants to move in with her, and maybe just leaving a sock there, just one little tiny sock, can mean that maybe he can actually be in a full relationship with her. And that dynamic, again, although it is a bit thin because you don't have as much time as other movies that are longer gets to do this character development, I thought with the time they were given, I thought it was pretty strong. And one of my favorite parts of this movie is when he runs off and drives away, and they're like, did he just leave? And they start freaking out. And then he comes back with the cops a little bit later. It's like, okay, movie, you did a good job with the boyfriend character. He wasn't denying the whole thing the entire time. He believed it in a way, although he never even really saw anything, he still said and was supportive about it. He wasn't like, that husband or dad character that always denies everything until he actually sees something or something actually happens to him. That's not what they do in this movie. So they dodge some cliches in that aspect. But overall, Lights Out is just such a simple, enjoyable, and really effective horror movie that that I do like watching every year, whether it's around Halloween time or not. I do think this is a very effective horror movie, and if you have not seen it, I highly recommend you guys go check this one out, especially the short film. Watch the short film because I think that is a perfect short film. You know, it's very short, very suspenseful, and the ending and the creature, the design of the, I guess, ghost creature thing. I don't even really know what to call her. But even that backstory in the movie is actually really interesting. The whole mental institution with the mother, the storyline that they had, and how, you know, she had that sensitivity to lights and all those things, and how she was needed to, the only reason why she was there is because she kind of invaded the mind of the mother. And whenever she was at her worst in terms of depression and in terms of her medication, in terms of her mental illness, was when Diana was able to be the strongest. So I thought that was actually really interesting. And they gave such a cool backstory for something that was as simple as turning the lights off and you see a little spectral ghost thing. So overall, I really do enjoy this movie. It's not the greatest horror movie of all time, but it is an extremely enjoyable one. And again, David F. Sandberg, huge inspiration of mine. And I do love Annabelle Creation. One day I will do a review for that one because so underrated. So that is my review for Lights Out. If you guys enjoyed this movie, comment down below what you guys thought. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on everything that is Lights Out. So comment down below, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you want to see more in this 13 Days of Halloween series. I have reviews up for Hocus Pocus and a spoiler review for The Haunting of Bly Manor, which I love that show. Definitely go check out that review on that show. But up next in this series, I will probably be doing, I think, The Nightmare Before Christmas or One Cut of the Dead. I'm going to film both those reviews very soon here. So guys, be excited, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you all in my next one.